All right, so we good?
Of previously taught instruction. So at that time, we added some virtual live teaching and direct instruction to our platform that looks differently at every grade level. And it's based on the developmental needs and the capacity of our students. So for kindergarten and grade 1, our teachers are providing direct instruction in both ELA and math once a week. We are doing this as pre-recorded flipped classroom lessons. The reason for that is that it's really difficult for kindergartners to navigate the online learning platform without support from adults. And it's hard for the younger students to attend to a live lesson when you have 20 other students in the class online at the same time. So teachers are pre-recording the lessons, and then they're meeting in small groups with 2 to 3 students to review the key learning points and to check for understanding. At grade 2, students still continue to need some support from parents or older siblings in order to access virtual instruction. So we're providing a mixed platform there. Our teachers are providing this, they are providing direct instruction in both ELA and mathematics. They are providing a combination of either flipped classroom, which is pre-recorded followed by live follow-up instruction, or live lessons in ELA. And then in mathematics, they're providing one virtual lesson as well as a pre-recorded lesson with an assignment that teachers are reviewing and grading and providing feedback on. They're also providing 2 social emotional learning lessons and check-ins for students so that we can continue to support that social emotional well-being and health of our children. Grades 3 to 5 is very similar. They are providing 2 live or flipped classroom lessons in ELA and in mathematics, as well as the social emotional learning check-ins. That's in addition to designing the daily academic calendars that are available to students at all grade levels. Grade 6, our students are really pretty independent in terms of navigating online learning at that level. So our grade 6 teachers are providing 2 longer lessons in ELA and math a week, as well as a office hour period that is about an hour a week split over the course of the week to provide individual student support and answers to questions. Our special subject teachers are providing a minimum of 2 pre-recorded lessons for students, as well as additional pre-recorded lessons and activities to support students. It looks a little different by content area. I know our instrumental band teacher is meeting with small groups of students, as well as our choral music program teacher. Special education, the federal government also changed the guidelines during phase 3 and have determined that the law does not prevent districts from continuing to provide virtual services to students. They don't look the same as they do when kids are in school, but our special educators are developing remote learning plans based on individual students' IEPs and developing a plan for providing services that, again, will allow students to access the curriculum and to maintain previously taught skills. Our related service providers, speech, occupational therapy, physical therapy, are providing consult to families to support students in maintaining skills according to their individual IEPs. The remote learning plan, when you have a chance to look at it in greater depth, also defines the roles and responsibilities for every staff member during this period of closure, including technology staff, instructional assistants, special education teachers, school nurses, facilities staff, business office, so you can take a look at that. I won't go through that in detail. We have, as far as technology, sent out a remote learning consent letter to all of our families. Any family or student that accesses the online resources is acknowledging the consent to comply with the requirements of the remote learning consent. Additionally, we are only using online tools and platforms that comply with our student data privacy agreement. So, and we've sent that out to parents as well. We just want to emphasize in the remote learning plan that we do recognize that this is an exceptionally challenging time for our families. For many people, they are juggling, trying to work from home, caring for family members that might be sick. Many families are struggling with job and food instability. And in many households, it's challenging for parents to continue to support the remote learning. So we recognize that while it is a priority, there are other challenges that families and individual students are struggling with at this time. So a big part of what we're trying to do is make sure that we're promoting student wellness, that we're offering services and supports to link families and students with other agencies where needed, that we're continuing to support food stability through the food pantry, the shared food pantry, and through partnerships with the YMCA and other local organizations. So that's an overview of where we are. We do expect within the next couple of weeks, the governor will make an announcement and may extend the school closure further than the May 4th date. If that happens, we will be going back and modifying our remote learning plan as we enter into what will be phase 4 based on any new guidance that comes from the Department of Education. Any questions, thoughts, comments? And I did send this, and I know you probably haven't had a chance to read it, but I'm happy to answer questions if you have them now, or if you have them as you review the document later.
Ingrid, it's Jen.
Yeah.
No, I just want to say a couple things. I feel that, I'm a teacher, and I feel that Norfolk Public Schools hit it out of the park in terms of their allowing access to Chromebooks. I thought that the 2 phases was excellent because I know some parents who took advantage of the second phase who felt maybe that first week, oh no, we don't need it, but then when reality hit. So I think that was excellent. And and for the teachers that are online right now, the younger ones, Mrs. O'Shea and Mrs. Murphy White, I really do appreciate the younger teachers doing small groups. I know that it's a lot of work because I've seen the Google Classroom signups, but I can tell you from personal experience, my daughter's really overwhelmed by the large 20-something groups. So working in small groups, I know it's more work for you, but I really, really appreciate it. I think they're getting, she's really enjoying it. So thank you for those kids who have difficulty learning in large groups. And my second point, Ingrid, is I have had some parent feedback about the enrichment calendar and what is mandatory and what is not, because as you said, there's a lot of things going on at home, and some kids really need a parent right next to them or to push them, and some kids just it adds a lot of tension. So I did have some parents ask, what is mandatory? And I'm not sure if that's totally clear to the parents.
Thanks, Jen, for that feedback. We did get that feedback, and we are going to provide some clarity for parents around that. The initial letter that went out, we are strongly encouraging all students to complete the academic components of the daily enrichment calendar, which would be the reading, math, social studies, and science assignments. The special subject teachers have also provided additional activities for physical fitness, for music education, and for art. Those can be done as are convenient for families, and we would encourage students to access some of those, but they have greater flexibility in terms of how they schedule that, and we're not expecting, when students are in school, they have art, music once a week and physical education twice a week. We're providing daily activities for parents and for students as additional resources, but we are not expecting students to complete all of the available activities.
Right.
But we will send clearer guidance. We're holding a little bit because we do expect that in the next few days we may get additional guidance from the Department of Ed around an additional closure. So we don't want to send one communication out and then send something else out a few days later. So we're waiting for a little clarity around that, and then we will be sending communication. We're also sending a parent survey out next week to get back on the calendar as a whole, so that we can make adjustments as needed.
And is there a monitoring system in place for those kids who aren't engaging with a teacher?
Yes, teachers are making efforts to reach out to any families of students that aren't joining the live learning lessons,
right,
or that they're having difficulty contacting. After multiple attempts, they will share that information with the building administrator, who will continue to work with families to try to increase student participation and make modifications to the platform as appropriate. We have had some families who have asked, just based on work schedules, for us to provide work packets and physical materials as opposed to online learning resources, and we have accommodated those as the requests come in.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? Okay, the next item on the agenda for tonight is April vacation. So at this point, we have 4 scheduled snow days remaining that would be made up at the conclusion of the school year. If we make those days up in June, then the last day of school for the Norfolk Public Schools would be Friday, June 19th. Most districts in our area are currently moving forward with plans to cancel the scheduled April vacation and to make those 4 days up during the April vacation week. At this point, I would recommend that the school committee vote to cancel April vacation and to follow that course of action and make up the missed 4 snow days during the April vacation week. There's several different reasons for that recommendation. The first is, at this point, it looks like there's a strong likelihood that the school closure is going to be extended, most likely at least through May, possibly through the end of the year. Given that, to continue the online learning and remote learning activities later into June we don't feel provides the best learning opportunity for students. Our kids are just getting comfortable with the remote learning platform that we've established. Families have been working really hard to try to establish routines for students. And we feel that if we don't provide learning and instruction during the week of April vacation, that's going to disrupt families' routines significantly. We also feel that that learning is going to be richer and more robust than it will be in June when the weather gets nice and we're going into our 3rd month of remote learning. So I would recommend at this point that the committee vote to cancel April vacation and to continue with the remote learning during those 4 days. Monday is a state holiday, so that would remain as a holiday. And we would continue teaching and learning remotely through the April vacation. We need a motion and then any questions.
Hold on, I think Tom has something he wants to say.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to say that the Norfolk Teachers Association supports Dr. Ilardi's proposal.
Oh,
So I make a motion to accept the change as proposed to the calendar.
do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Bye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, great. So we will send that notice out to parents about the change in calendar and that we will continue to provide remote learning activities and resources during the April vacation. That will make the last day of school for Norfolk Monday, June 15th. The next item I have for you is the quarterly bullying report. By policy, I have to report to the committee any reports or allegations and investigations conducted regarding bullying behavior at each building every quarter. Last quarter, the report goes from February 1st through March 12th because we closed at that time and haven't had students in the building. So there was one discipline issue or report regarding bullying at the H. Olive Day School during the 3rd quarter. It was fully investigated and it was found not to meet the criteria for bullying. Appropriate disciplinary measures were taken and plans were put in place to support the student in managing social and peer situations. At the Freeman Kennedy School in the 3rd quarter, there were 2 discipline reports regarding bullying, also fully investigated according to our district bullying prevention and intervention plan and policy. One of those reports was found to meet their criteria for bullying, so appropriate actions were taken, and the other was found not to meet the criteria and appropriate disciplinary actions were taken. Any questions, comments on that?
Nope. Thank you.
I have one other action item, and that is we, at our last meeting, approved the school calendar for 2020-21. Actually, that was back in February, so it was 2 meetings ago. Since that time, we have gotten revised dates for Camp Warrendale for grade 6. The October date for the early release professional development was originally scheduled for October 1st. That is now going to be a Camp Warrendale date. The students will be at Camp Warrendale for September 28th, 29th, 30th, and October 1st. As a result, I'm just recommending a minor change that we move that half PD day from the 1st to October 8th in order to allow all of our staff to participate. Any questions, comments on that?
Mm,
Is that a question or a comment?
It's, I'm thinking about it.
Oh, it's mulling. Okay.
Mulling, it's a mulling, yes.
Okay. I'll accept mullings.
I'm very good at mulling.
Okay.
It's a strength of mine. I'm fine. Okay, no questions, comments, or concerns.
Okay. So we just need a motion and a vote on that.
So moved.
Well, let's, here, why don't we, can we get a motion and then Paul can continue to mull?
I'm looking at you.
So we have a motion. We need a second.
I'll
Second.
second. I'll let Jen second.
All right.
Hold on, I'm buffering again.
Okay.
So are all in favor, I guess?
Aye.
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 All right, great. That's it for my report tonight. So I think we're on to committee reports.
Do we have anything from King Philip?
There's nothing new to report. Most of the meetings have just been about updates about the online learning situation, which is very much paralleling what we're doing.
All right. Oh, this is ridiculous. All right. Any other budget beyond what has already been discussed?
No, I don't. To be honest with you, I'm not sure what the future holds as far as the town meeting. I don't know if that's been rescheduled already or not, but that is the next step in the budget process, I believe. So and that was typically going to be beginning of May. So
It's June 9th now.
it has been rescheduled. Okay.
Yeah,
June 9th.
that's the latest thing was June 9th.
The elections, I believe, were also rescheduled for the week prior for June 2nd.
They
Correct.
moved actually, no, the elections are
23rd.
after town meeting.
Oh, did they move it? Okay, they were
I think it
discussing
was-
that at the last.
Last week, they moved it to, I think, like the 22nd or 23rd.
Yes, 23rd.
Late.
Okay.
Wow.
So then Jeff and Paul get to an extra couple
You guys get to
One year of
It's overtime. Sudden death.
Yeah.
overtime.
Are
So
we
it's
done
bonus time.
presenting to the advisory board? Is
We
that done?
Yes, we have presented to the advisory board. They had asked us to reduce that 30,000 in order for them to put forward a balanced budget. The town administrator presented the budget to the select board at their last meeting last Tuesday, and they decided that prior to approving it to go forward to town meeting, they wanted to wait and gather further information on state revenue projections before they're comfortable voting a final dollar amount.
So did advisory board, I don't want to say support, what did they say? Recommend? Are they going to recommend the budget with the $30,000 reduction?
That is the budget that went to the select board, but if the financial conditions significantly change, I'm not sure what budget the advisory board will end up supporting.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's just, it's a different process than we've ever been through before because of the current situation. The revenue projections are typically pretty solid at this point, where they're very up in the air right now.
Yep.
Okay. Is that it for budget then?
That's it.
Yes.
Did I lose everybody?
No.
Yeah, that's it for budget.
That's it.
Ridiculous. That's it for budget?
Yep.
Okay, couple things for policy, it looks like.
Yes.
So we
Maddening.
we have not met recently, right, Jeff?
Correct.
We do have some final, well, it's not a final, some final policy changes to be voted on, I believe.
Yep. These are third readings and there were no changes in the prior two meetings on any of the policies. So I think we have to vote them individually, but there were no changes from the last two readings.
And they were very minor according to what Mask recommended.
Yeah.
We just have to vote. They're in the packet.
Yeah. So the first policy.
Okay, so do we have a motion to accept policy ILD, student submission to educational surveys.
So moved.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Assuming no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. And, okay, then do we have a motion to accept the third reading for policy JBB, equal education opportunities?
So
I will
moved.
make a motion to accept policy JBB.
Okay, all in favor?
You need a second?
I thought someone seconded. I'm sorry, I may have misheard.
Second.
Yes, thank you, Jen. So now all in favor?
Aye.
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 Sorry, I'm having severe internet issues. And then lastly, do we have a motion to accept the third reading for policy JFABD, which is homeless students enrollment rights and services?
I make a motion to accept the homeless student enrollment rights and
Second?
Okay, assuming no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving on, we have an application to renew a school partner for Norfolk Rec. I think we all know who they are. So do we have a motion to accept Norfolk Rec continuing as a school partner?
I'll make a motion to continue with Norfolk Rec as a school partner, to accept that.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
Okay, assuming no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. All right, so then we need a motion on 3 different meeting minutes. We need one for the budget open meeting of March 4th. Do we have a motion to accept those minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the March 4th open budget meetings minutes.
Okay, do you have a second?
Second.
Okay, assuming no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain. This is Jeff Curry.
Oh, Curry is abstaining. Then he'll also be abstaining from the next one, which is to accept the actual regular business school committee meeting on March 4th. Do we have a motion to accept those minutes?
Make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from March 4th for the school committee.
Okay, do you have a second?
Second?
Okay, seeing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Abstain.
And finally, do we have a motion to accept the meeting minutes for the school committee meeting of March 10th, 2020?
So moved.
Okay,
Second?
okay, seeing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Abstain.
And next, we are scheduled to meet on May 19th. Does that work for everyone? I imagine no one's going anywhere, so it probably should work out.
Thomas, can I suggest, typically we meet later in May because of the scheduled town meeting and election, but because those have both been canceled, I'd like to suggest, if possible, for the committee that we meet earlier around May 5th, because we're expecting additional budget guidance and may have to make some budget and staffing decisions at that time. So I think earlier would be better if it's possible for the committee.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
Well, even if it's the week after the
I'm kidding.
I don't have big plans for that since we're stuck at home. So
Nope.
to the 12th. I just hate to wait till that late because we'll be revising our remote learning plan if we're extending the school closure, and again may have budget and financial decisions.
I'm fine with that.
Mhm. It's wrapping up.
So what are we suggesting? May the 5th?
Ingrid,
Sure,
do you
that's fine.
have any idea when the government may issue additional guidelines for school opening or closing, extended closures. Have you heard anything?
We are expecting that there'll be some announcement made by early next week. I'm not sure what that will be, whether it's an extended closure through June or whether it'll be a closure through the end of the school year, but we do expect some announcement will be made within the next week. I don't anticipate that there'll be a recommendation that we return on May 4th, as the peak for COVID is still coming in Massachusetts. They're expecting it not to arrive till the 20th, around the 20th of April.
Right.
And they are also now encouraging districts to think about delaying returning to school until hospitalizations come down. So I'd be surprised if there was, I don't see a possibility at this stage of us reopening immediately on the scheduled time of May 4th. But I don't know what the recommendation will be. I do expect that we'll hear something within the next week or so.
Good. And the good news is MCAS, correct? Am I correct? Is officially canceled for this year?
It is canceled for this year.
Yay.
Did I have the only kid that likes the MCAS?
Yeah, I'm not going to give my personal and my professional opinion about that right now.
There's always one kid who likes the MCAS.
Hey, he's like, hey, we get to do something different. I don't know.
For 2 hours.
Whatever.
All right, so do we have a motion to adjourn for this evening?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, so voice vote us out. So everyone who, as we approve, go out with your names, please.
Jennifer Wynn, and thank you everybody, all the teachers and everybody else that attended tonight. Thank you.
Medora Champagne, I vote to adjourn, and an equal thank you to everyone who is supporting my children in their remote learning and preventing us all from homicidal tendencies at 2 Seneca Street at this point.
Good to know.
Jeff Curry voted to adjourn as well, and thank you all for your hard work and effort.
Paul Cochran, vote to adjourn, and I agree. Thank you very much for all the creative thinking.
Finally, Thomas Doyle, thank you very much. Appreciate all your efforts, and stay safe, and hopefully we get together soon. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.